Hi, this is a Volt Vector video. In this video, we're going to go over some options for LLM profiles. Here on the options page, I'm going to click over on LLM profiles. There's two different places here. You got your LLM profiles. These are the profiles you can create to interact with an LLM API, in this case OpenAI, and then also selecting the default profile. The default profile is internal, and that just means that's the profile that's going to be used when you generate a new chat. You can always change it in the chat too, though. All right, so let's get going here and let's create a new one called test. Right now the service is OpenAI, and then I gotta add the API key here. So you do that, generate your key, generate it, and you would save it back here, and then you've got your different options here. So I'm gonna leave them blank and just show how this saves. So saved it. See, now I can select it as the default if I wanted to. If I do select that as the default, I need to hit save down here, but we're gonna leave it as that. And actually I don't want to use this one, so I'm just going to delete it. So we're back to my initial one here. So I've got the API key. So let's talk about all these settings down here. These settings are chosen to, one, help control costs and also reduce hallucinations. So we're using the latest GPT 3.5 model, Turbo 16K, and that one's got the least cost, and it also is really good, pretty good on hallucinations too. So I would say GPT-4 is going to be better on hallucinations, but it's going to cost more. So that's kind of the trade-off. So I try to use everything for Turbo 16K. That's what all the tests about, and it's done pretty good results for me. So in an effort to control costs, you have max tokens. Max tokens is the response sent back from the API. In this case, 2,048 tokens, which roughly works out to 1,500 words. One token equals about 75% of a word. So you can reduce that, increase it. You increase it up to about 4,096 tokens, I believe, is the max that it will send back. All right, so that's how you can control your costs. Oh, the other part is choices. So choices just means the AI would generate one choice and send that to you. But if you set it to 2, 3, 4, it will generate 4 choices and then choose which one is the best one and send that back to you. You do have to pay the cost for each of those choices responses, but maybe that might be a better option. You might get a better result that way. So something to play with. So as for reducing hallucinations, we're going to look at temperature and top P. Top P and temperature are kind of inverse, I would say. They're both 1 by default, and they recommend you only change 1. So by default, top P is 1, temperature is 1. I've set it to 0. What does that mean? 0 kind of means it's going to be less creative. It is going to be more predictable, and it's and use kind of a single correct answer. So since we're talking about things in context, having 0 is great. You start moving it above 0.5 and higher, that's when you're going to start getting more creative answers. That's where you're going to start generating hallucinations. Top P is kind of the inverse. Top P just means it's going to have more diverse text at a lower value, and it's going to be more repetitive safe text at 1. So again, we're trying to talk about information in context, so we want to keep it at 1. That will help that there. Frequency penalty and presence penalty is something you want to change if you notice more of the response. It's not going to really help with hallucinations or cost as much. So presence penalty, let's start with that one right there. Presence penalty, positive values promote new topics, negative values increase repetition. I think that's a good thing to go for. For frequency penalty, positive values reduce repetition, negative values increase it. So, I mean, that kind of, it's more of a subjective thing based on what the results are. I like to just keep them at 0. It's rare that I actually change those. So, but those are your options there. You can come back and change these options if you want in a profile, including the API key once it's saved, but you can't change the service or the name once it's saved. So these options you can kind of tweak if you realize it's there, or you can just create multiple profiles and have different versions and then cycle through on different chats and choose that profile, and it will load it, and you can kind of compare the results live. So that's another way to work with it.